Hi, this is Joe with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing and do a review of Season 40 of Survivor, or Survivor 40, Winners at War. And of course, because and I'm doing this video the day after the final episode aired, I'm going to do what I usually do with Survivor, and that's review the whole season after the final episode airs. Of course, this season was not as controversial as season 39 was, and if you know what I'm talking about, please check out my two reviews on that. Season 40, they decided to do, since it's 8 to 40 season was a big number, but also it's also the 20th anniversary year of Survivor, and it came out during the summer of 2000, and so because it's now 20 years later and 40 seasons of the show, they decided to bring back all winners. So they brought back 20. They picked 20 of the previous winners, and for this particular season, and the chances were you have 19 people who only won the show once, and you only had the only person who won the show twice, which was Sandra. So chances were the person who was going to tie Sandra for the most wins, and that's Sandra entered the ring again, which of course we know now. Major spoiler: she didn't win. She didn't win Survivor, so somebody was going to tie her. And the question is, which one of the other 19 contestants was going to tie that record? And of course, they brought back some what we call Survivor legends, onto this show, who have won. Poverty, who I think this was her fourth time winning, first time as a married woman. Sorry guys, she broke a lot of guys' hearts, including mine, when I found out that she just got married a couple of years ago, and she recently just had a baby about 10 months ago, at the time that she was filming the show. So she's not a virgin anymore, folks, and bummer. The biggest flirt is, I can't believe that the biggest flirt in Survivor history is now married, and with now a newborn baby. He's not even a year old. So you had her, you had Rob and Amber, Boston Rob and his wife Amber, who they met on the Survivor All-Stars show, and this was like literally the first time that Rob was playing, even though he was in the Island of the Idol show with Sandra, but he didn't actually physically play. So you can put like a asterisk on that thing. So this was the first time that Boston Rob was played more than anybody. He played five seasons of this show. And Sandra, this was this was the fourth time for Sandra, and this was the third time. I think it was also the third time for Amber. So you had several people on the season who played more than once. I think if they're going to do a season with winners, you should do winners who only played like once. Of course, they all won once except for Sandra, but they should all pick people who only played once and were lucky enough to win. And they have done that. They put Ethan, who was the oldest winner because of the seasons. I'm not talking about age, I'm talking about what season he won. He won in season 3, the Survivor Africa. He won that show, so he's on there. He's the ultimate survivor because he survived cancer. So he was on there. He was on there. He had Yule. Technically Ethan played twice actually. He also was in the All-Star show. Yule, who only played once and won, he was on there, and so was Aaron, who wore the Kansas City Chiefs outfit. I know I messed up her name. She only played once and won early on. Of course, the problem with this series, this season, is that Tony won. I don't like Tony. He played okay. I mean, he played such a tremendous season. He didn't play such a tremendous season. He had a good alliance, which kept together to the end of the show, which would work. Thank you, China, for not getting a stupid haircut. Um, so because I'm not that crazy about Tony, but I think Tony's a nut, right? He's ultra paranoid, so it looks like he needs psycho medication or something, because he's always is running around like a nut and spying, climbing up trees or hiding in any bushes, the spying and everything, all the spying crap. And I mean, he was making me paranoid. And just watched the show, so he ended up winning the $2 million prize, which I should mention. They upped the prize money for this season for the $2 million. I know it's going to be a continuous thing after this season. Who the heck knows? But they made $2 million. He made $3 million altogether from our Survivor. The one season he won, and this season. And of course, she also mentioned they also brought back the Edge of Extinction thing back in here. But now, instead of having a choice whether to quit right then and there or go to extinction, everybody went to extinction as soon as they got voted out. So you had all these people on the edge of extinction, and only one person quit, and that was Sandra. As soon as she got to edge of extinction, she was there for a couple of days, like maybe like 30 seconds, it feels like, and she decided to pull herself out of the game. So she decided not to go back to the game, and that's the problem. Not a problem with this season, but that Sandra, there were several times during the season when Sandra was in it, before she was voted out, that she sat out challenges, almost one after the other. And the problem was that several years ago, they made this rule in Survivor that you cannot sit out more than 2 challenges in a row. And Sandra sat out like about 3 or 4 challenges in a row, and people were calling her out on it. The other survivors, the other contestants were calling her out on it and say, "Hey, you're not supposed to sit out more than one challenge in a row." She's sitting out 3, and people in the other tribe say, "Hey, how come she keeps sitting out?" And if people who were on tribe were calling her out on it, and because she's the queen, because she's the only one who won twice. I'm the queen, and all that stuff, and so people got tired of her sitting out. So when they had a chance, when Denise made that big move and used her immunity idol and give immunity idol to somebody else, and she maneuvered to take out Sandra, and Sandra was voted out the last time she played. Actually, physically played, she was voted out. About not even halfway through that season, she was voted out. So she was voted out before, and now she got voted out again. And when she got voted out this time, she decided to quit. But of course, we should bring out who the final 3 people were. Was Natalie, Michelle, and of course Tony, who of course won. The problem with this scenario was that Natalie, I should mention, Natalie was the very first person voted out of Survivor, and she was voted out on day 2. She spent 33 days on the edge of extinction, and she kept finding all these advantages in the game, and she was passing it along to other players for fire tokens. So she got a whole bunch of fire tokens, and which was brought into this thing. It was like Survivor money, where you could buy food with it, or buy an advantage, or buy a disadvantage to another player. And even though Natalie was on the edge of extinction, she was playing these playing all these advantages on the edge of extinction, and was playing them like crazy, and she affected the game, because she got eventually she got Sandra out. She eventually got Ben out. She tried to get Tony out, because she felt that if Tony stayed in the final 3, he would have won, and that's unfortunately exactly what had happened. And Michelle was there. Now Michelle, I was rooting for Michelle to win, because I finally want to have a woman, especially after the disaster was in Survivor 39. I wanted a woman to win Survivor this year, and because of what happened with the whole dance situation in Survivor 39, I wanted her to win this time, or at least a woman this time. I thought it was either going to be either Natalie or Michelle to win, And if Sarah had gone into the final three, and we'll get into it in a minute, I felt that Sarah was going with the final three if she had gone in there. But what happened was they had Natalie had won the final immunity challenge, and she figured, okay, who should I pick for the fire making challenge? She decided to pick Michelle. Even though Michelle could have conceivably, I felt Michelle could have been all the time. I felt that Michelle could have been Tony in the fight because they were all Michelle, Sarah, and Tony were all practicing how to make fire, and Sarah was doing pretty well, and so was Michelle. Either one of them could have I felt that either one of them could have beat Tony, but Tony ended up winning the fire making challenge, knocking out Sarah, and Tony ended up winning Survivor. And let me tell you, I felt so sorry for I felt my heart was breaking for Michelle, because of the fact that once again, Survivor, if anybody's watching this from Survivor, they gotta get rid of the final three concept, and go back to just two players, because once again, I can't remember the last time that all three players in the final three got at least one vote. Michelle didn't get a single solitary vote. Natalie got four votes. And like I said, she was the first one voted out. And on the last, they had two challenges to bring back somebody from Edge of Extinction into the game. They only did that twice. The first time Tyson won, and as soon as they had the first tribal council, after the first return challenge, Tyson got voted out. So he got voted out twice. And so Natalie won the last immunity challenge. Of course, she wasn't going to be voted out. So I was kind of hoping that Natalie would win. I was kind of wondering if she would win or not. She got 4 votes in the final challenge, in the final tribal council, and Tony got the rest of them. He got like 7 or 8 votes, and or 9 votes, 8 or 9 votes, and Natalie got 4. It's like Tony pretty much blew Natalie and Michelle out, and Michelle got 0. And on what they did with Survivor, because of the virus, they didn't do it in a television studio. Either they used to do it alternating between LA and here in New York for the final, but they haven't done it here in New York since the David Letterman show ended. So because they used to do it in the Ed Sullivan Theater in Manhattan, but ever since David Letterman ended his show, they'll be doing it in a CBS television studio in LA, and they didn't do this live. So they actually technically did it live, but in Jeff Probst's garage, literally, and he just read the votes, and on Zoom on the TV screen on the left side of the television screen, or sorry, I put it this way, on the left side of the TV screen, you have the reaction of Tony, Michelle, and Natalie on the screen, and as Jeff Probst was reading the votes, you could look at Michelle, and she was almost on the verge of tears because she was not getting a single solitary vote, like I said earlier, and so my heart was breaking for her because true, Michelle won once before, and during the final tribal council, it was brought up by Ben, who pretty much stabbed Michelle in the back and voted for. It was going to vote for Tony either way anyway. He wasn't going to vote for Michelle, but even Ben said, "Look, other than myself, you're the only other contestant who was like a controversial winner because nobody, people didn't like the fact that you won your season. People didn't like the fact that I won my season. But I can understand how you won." And he says to Michelle, "I can understand why you won your season because you played pretty damn well out here. You underestimated me. You surprised me with the way you played." So, but regardless of how Michelle played, Ben was going to vote for Tony no matter what anyway, because of how he played. And one of the reasons, or as far as excuses, that Tony won because nobody voted against him. Through the whole season, which is weird. I mean, it has happened a couple of times. It has happened to Sandra. When Sandra first won Survivor, nobody voted for either time when she won. It wasn't until when she played the third time, when she was voted out for the first time during the third season that she played, when she got a couple of votes, and then she was eventually voted out. The reason for that was because she already had won twice at that point, so she got a couple of votes. But that's just a stupid excuse, right? You should give somebody $2 million because nobody voted against them. They kind of forgot that Tony actually won 4 immunity challenges. That kind of helps, and not people voting against you. And not only that, we also played some immunity items a couple of times. That's why he won. Okay, it wasn't because of that nobody wanted to vote against him. It's just the fact that he had a good alliance, and times when people who were not in Tony's alliance, who wanted to vote him out, couldn't, because he either had won the immunity challenge, he had the immunity necklace, or he played an immunity idol, and any votes against him didn't count. So that's how he's able to not get voted out, because of how he played. I mean, because if you run the immunity challenge at least 4 times and play immunity idols, how can you be voted out, or how can you get votes against you if they didn't count if you had played a hidden immunity idol? I mean, that's just lame garbage, in my opinion. And like I said earlier, I felt so sorry. I felt so sorry for Michelle not getting a single vote. That's what I felt. I mean, 9 times out of 10 since they've been doing the final 3. I know it happened a few times when somebody has gone. The third player got like 1 or 2 votes, and the other. I say when they usually have 9 jurors, they used to have 2 votes when one person went, 3 went to another person, and 6 went to the player that won, something like that. For example, but lately when they have 3 players, and the final tribal council, one of them doesn't get any votes, and I feel that Michelle was complete. I don't know if she ever had this reaction, but I felt that she was completely humiliated, and you could see because she was there with her sister, when the votes were being read, and it looked like that she was about to burst into tears because she was not getting any votes, and that's how I felt when I ran for the board for my co-op here. I ran 3 times in a row and lost all 3 times, and I thought I was going to. I got my share of votes, but not enough to carry over the top, of course. But at least I got some votes. But Michelle didn't get any votes. She got absolutely nothing, and I felt so bad for her. I really do. And I felt that after the disaster, I think the show the last few years has been rigged against the women here. They don't vote for them. They vote the women out much earlier, and after like I said earlier, after the disaster of season 39, they should have rigged the game to let women win. And I think they should go back to what the Amazon show was, and have one whole tribe full of women, so that way, they have a possibility of maybe a woman getting, to the final 4, or have a survivor for all women, so you can guarantee that a woman will win. Just to end the nonsense and to put a woman, as a survivor winner, because there were certain winners. Before I close this, I think there were certain winners that should have been on this show. One, of course, is Richard Hatch, but I don't think Richard Hatch is ever going to be on this show. ever again, because even though he did a video where he denies what happened, and he's rubbing himself up against Sue during the All-Star season. Plus, not only that, they sued CBS. He went to sue CBS for not paying income taxes when he won, the very first season of Survivor. But he also went to jail for that. Got accused of abusing his kid. His son after Survivor ended. That type of stuff is and also because of what happened with Dan in season 39, that's the reason why Richard Hatch didn't come back. Also, Tina West, the second Survivor winner, wasn't there. Jenna Moresco, who won the Amazon show, was not there. So the certain winners that I felt that the reason why season 39 winner wasn't there because of all the controversy with the dance thing. So they wanted Survivor, the producers of Survivor, and CBS wanted to distance themselves from that particular season. But I feel there's certain winners that should have been there. If you're doing an all-winner show and not to have the first win, Richard Hatch there, as much as I don't like Richard Hatch, and I have seen his videos, I do like some of his videos he's done on his channel. And not having the very first winner there, an all-winner season, I think it's ridiculous, in my opinion. But that's my review. I ran a little long, but this is my review of Survivor Season 40. Please click on the video, please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com. It's over WDY.C.com. There's a whole page to another reviewer. Christy Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.